Hi, I'm your host, Marcia Florence for Just Ask. Today's show, ladies and gentlemen, is The Art of Caregiving. Hurry back and join us. Hi, I'm your host, Marcia Florence of Just Ask. Today's show, ladies and gentlemen, is The Art of Caregiving. And we have the director herself, Monica Williams, of the New York, Michigan Solutions Journalists Collaborative. Good afternoon, Monica Williams.
Good afternoon, Marcia Florence.
Thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Now, Monica, this is something different because we do know that there's a reason for you being here, which is a event that's coming up. But we wanted to express to our viewers, what is the Art of Caregiving? And tell us a little bit about your role as the director of the New York, Michigan Journalism Collaborative, Solution Journal Collaborative. I didn't mess all that up. Get it out for me.
I know, it's a mouthful. It's New York and Michigan Solutions Journalism Collaborative, and thanks for having me here. I am the director of the Collaborative, which is a coalition of about 20 news, academic, and community organizations, and we come together to cover issues in our communities from a solutions lens. And so what that means is a lot of times is if you open your newspaper or you look on the television, there's a lot of bad news, right? There's lots of bad things going on in our communities or just challenging things. Let's say challenging instead of bad. And instead of just covering, hey, here are these issues that are going on, we cover it from a solutions lens, meaning we take a look at not just what the issues are, but who's trying to do something about it. Our group of 20 partners has been looking at caregiving since 2020. Caregiving, as we know, we launched during the pandemic, and as you know, the pandemic sort of brought to light some of the issues that a lot of us already knew what were happening, but we've illuminated caregiving as an issue. Some of our partners in Detroit, you may know, or you should know, trusted names, the Detroit Free Press, Detroit News, Bridge, Michigan, Urban AG News, Detroit PBS, and others. So.
Okay. All right. So how is it that is a collaboration between New York, Buffalo, New York, and Michigan? How did that come about?
Great question, and that's something that everybody always asks. How do you have Western New York and Southeast Michigan? Primarily the stories that we do and the events that we have are funded by a grant from Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Foundation. Ralph C. Wilson was the owner of the Buffalo Bills and part owner of the Detroit Lions. A lot of people don't know that, but he was very passionate about caregiving, and he had ties to both areas. So that's why we cover both areas.
Okay. So a lot of the issues that you guys address, we know they happen here in Michigan, and they do happen in other states. And just so happen Buffalo, New York is your sister agency.
Right, and those are our partners. So the Buffalo News, for example, the newspaper in Rochester, New York, the Democrat and Chronicle, the NPR station there, WXXI. So we cover those issues together as partners.
Okay. Okay, wonderful. So now today, we know we have you here visiting us in the cool seat. We don't call it the hot seat, the cool seat.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, because you guys are working on something with the Hannan Center. And so we wanted to be able to, highlight that for you to make sure that our Michigan residents are aware of something wonderful coming down the pipeline.
That's right. So that's good to know. And also in New York as well. And what we're doing with the Hannan Center. The Hannan Center, for those of you who are not familiar, is a community center here in Detroit. They're turning 100 actually this year. And they address the social and community needs of adults 55 and older. This is a population that we've been writing about and covering as journalists, and this is a population that the Hannan Center serves. We've actually covered the Hannan Center and some of their respite programs in our news coverage, and what they've done for quite some time is have an event called Emerge. And Emerge recognizes emerging artists. So we thought this year it would be great to team up with them and partner with them on the Emerge contest, which is an art contest open to all on caregiving. So we're asking the public to submit entries on the subject of caregiving. Caregiving as we know it is difficult. It can be, a lot of times you see it portrayed as a depressing, sad incident. But we know there are also, in caregiving, there are joys of caregiving. There are positive aspects of caregiving, and not every point of caregiving is negative. So we're asking people to show us your portrayal of caregiving, and we'll feature it in the contest, the cash prizes, which is always nice. But also there's we'll celebrate it in an exhibition at the Hannan Center in August.
Okay. Well put, well put. And like you said, a lot of people look at caregiving as somewhat sad and, depressing. But if you don't know, all of us are going to do it,
That's right.
and go through it, whether
That's
it's,
right.
you're caring for a loved one, caring for a friend or someone. It's never ending. So you might as well find some light in it, and share some of your experiences. And I do believe in that. I've been a caregiver several times. And knowing that all the things I went through, when I hear, when I hear someone talk about their caregiving now for their loved one, I'm easily to say, you're going to need this.
Right.
You might want to use this. Had you thought about this, and a lot of people are like, how do you know? Well, I've been where you're going.
That's right.
So we need to, embrace that more. So I tell you what, we're going to take a break and come back with some more good information on the art of caregiving. We'll be right back.
I try to keep up with what these young people is doing and knowing.
I was at work and I just got a text from a number that I didn't know.
I sent him a text. He texts me back and say, "Who dis?" And I just thought that was the funniest thing.
The next few weeks, you just made fun of me, like would answer the door and say, "Who dis?"
Who dis?
Drop off a warm meal and get more than you expect. Volunteer at americaletsdolunch.org.
America, let's do lunch.
And welcome back to the show. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just not joining us, I want you to get your pen and paper out because I definitely want to give you some information about this upcoming event that Monica Williams has given us enlightening about the Hannan Center and Emerge. Now, some of you who are caregivers, of course you have questions. We here, if we can help, we are always willing to. So give us a call, 1-800-323-5336. Or go to our website, justasktalkshow.org. You can always drop me a line, leave me a question. If you have a question for our guests, such as Monica Williams, about the Emerge contest, you got time to take down these phone numbers, and you'll see the information in the credit roll. Now, Monica, I wanted to get that out to the viewers because people are going to be excited in a minute. Oh, I can enter my ideas, So let me ask you, so how did the partnership actually come about?
Well, Hannan Center was a perfect partner because, like I said, our organization had done stories on the Hannan Center and all the great work that they do for the target audience of 55 and older adults. And as they have an attached art gallery in their facility, our organization, as journalists, we've been covering caregiving since 2020. And I think I just thought one day, wouldn't it be great to get the stories of caregivers? And how can we do that? I don't know. And I just thought, Hannan Center is a perfect partner for that because they have the space to be able to showcase those stories.
So, you came up with the idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. Well, that's a good. I mean, good job. But I mean, that's a good thing. You said you were, thinking about it, and to actually showcase, different levels of artwork of caregivers is just phenomenal in itself.
Well, let me be clear. They actually have had a show on caregivers before. I didn't know that until I approached them, and then they said, "Oh, we've done that before." So, yeah, it was kind of meant to be.
Okay. Well, I've had a chance to go to the Hannan Center a couple of times and interview the executive director himself or the president, Vincent Telford, and it's just amazing there. And just to walk through and see all the beautiful artwork is just. I mean, you think you're in an art gallery, period, and you don't know that. A caregiver has done this, or do you even label them as caregivers? All you know is that you're in a place, it's all this beautiful artwork, whether it's a painting, a sculpture, some type of diagram. It's something in there that's like, it's just breathtaking.
Right,
and it has a warmness about itself, too. So I do encourage more people to go and visit the Hannan Center because really it's something to see, and you just take your time.
Yeah, it's amazing the amount of programming that they have, because on one side you have the K-Rod Art Gallery, as you mentioned, and there are displays and exhibits. Sometimes they'll have film showings in the basement and dance, but then in addition they serve the needs of care older adults as well, so they have a respite program for Alzheimer's patients, dementia patients.
The Daybreak program.
The Daybreak program.
Yeah, we're going to feature some of that because people need to know. A lot of people don't realize, too, when you're the caregiver, you're trying to do it all yourself and you have not asked for help or you don't know how to ask for help. And you just figure, I got to take my loved one with me. Well, I got to be here with them all day, all night. And there is so many programs that are available for caregivers to utilize to help take care of their loved ones and to keep them going too.
That's right.
Okay,
That's right.
I can tell you firsthand. I know that and that feeling. But I was a social worker, so I had all my tools and I was able to arm myself. When I had to take care of my family members. But everybody's not that fortunate to have the skill bag, and that's why we have programs such as Just Ask to educate people on what it is that you may need. And we don't want people to be afraid to ask the question. Just ask.
That's right. And I think we forget sometimes that caregivers need care as well. And I think sometimes caregivers forget that. And so places like the Hannan Center, step in the gap in that way.
True. So I do want to go over some of the photos, to allow our viewers to see exactly what goes on or what they're going to be entitled to and to consider enjoying this event. Whether they enter the program or not, the contest or not, they should come out and definitely be a part of this so that, you can see for the future, hey, I want to come here and relax or walk through. Even if that, to learn more about the Daybreak program and see if it's something that they can utilize. Because really, when you're the caregiver, only thing you do is like, hey, I got to stay home. I hope that I can use Hub Grub. I hope I can use, Uber, something other than knowing that there's resources. There's just mounds of resources. And in watching a video of the Daybreak program, it allowed, to me, it will allow the viewers to understand you have some place to go, that you can trust that your loved one will be okay if you need to go to the market, if you need to go to the doctor, okay? So a lot of times we do need to find more resources to allow people to move further. So let's look at some of the photos you have here. And of course, we had to start off with you guys, okay?
That's right, plug our website, because our website, nymisojo.com, has the kinds of stories that include resources. So it's not just caregiving is expensive, caregiving is stressful, those things we know, but the kinds of stories that you'll find on there and the kinds of resources on there is like, okay, what now? What can I do or where can I go to find out more and get help and resources to help me through this journey?
Correct. So, this photo that we have here for people to enter, it says enter now. And
that's right now.
Yeah. So, okay, we'll get this out as soon as possible. Okay, so you get to submit up to 2 art entries. Okay, and attend the Emerge Festival and see your artwork on display. That
Yeah.
should be great.
So let
Okay.
me talk about two things that are going on. Number one, you can enter the contest. So it can be painting, sculpture, drawing, illustration. If you have a short film, if you have a dance or a spoken word or any kind of way that you interpret art, you can enter into this contest. And you go to the website, you upload your entry, or you can drop them off at the Hannan Center. And like I said, we have cash prizes. We'll have voting online. We'll have a panel of esteemed judges, and we'll select the winners. Now, the second part of that is the winners will be featured in the gallery on August 24th, and the winner of the contest or so will be announced. But there's room for a lot of entries, and it'll be a festival, sort of a celebration of caregiving. So it's not just the exhibition, as you'll see, but there'll be a DJ, so you can come and dance. There'll be a photo booth. There'll be food, music.
Sound like a very festive day.
That's right, and both indoor and outdoor.
Oh, wow.
There'll be, if you're artistic or like to try your hand out, there'll be artistic projects that you can kind of work on. But from all day, there'll be
Something to
an
do.
array of something to
Okay.
do, so you can stop by indoor or outdoor anytime. And if you're not brave enough to enter the contest, come and see what others have done.
Good.
And
That's
yeah,
good. Because I'm looking at this photo here, the people just, walking through, looking at the display, and, those are you at home can see how the viewers are just relaxed and people are having a good time just looking at other people's work. And this is local artists.
that's right.
That's the greatest thing about it, is the local artists. And, and like in this photo here, you see the sculpture. Well, I shouldn't say that's a sculpture, but with that fixture there of who's that lady on the mantle? Okay, so you're looking at different things that people could enter in. Somebody say, oh, well, I don't know if they'll take my kind of work. We don't know until you enter into the contest.
That's right. And it's however you interpret art and however you interpret emerge, because it's meant for emerging artists, but how do you interpret emerge is kind of up to you.
Okay. And the people who are coming are not just the artists themselves, the caregivers. This is open to the public.
That's open to the community as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. This is a full day. So what day is that?
It's August 24th at the Hannan Center on Woodward. So
Okay. And the time?
10 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Oh, wow. Okay. Going
So
into
full
the
day, both, like I said, both indoor and outdoor, and then multiple floors, not just the art gallery, but if there's dance or drama or film or spoken word, all related to caregiving, we'll have that in the basement as well. So there's a lot of space there if you've been to K-Ride. And if you haven't, you should stop by.
All right. And on that note, we're going to go to another break, and we'll be right back. And did you write that number down, 1-800-323-5336? Because you're going to be the one entering the contest. We'll be right back.
If you store your guns properly,
I'll feel safer when I'm playing outside.
Safer when walking home.
And I won't have to tell my kids, this isn't a drill.
Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Always lock it up.
And welcome back to the last half of the show. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm having a great conversation here today with Monica Williams. And you know what? Let me just say this. Her job is with the collaborative, okay, New York, Michigan Journalist Solution Collaborative. But they're doing something special here, and we want to make sure that you, the caregivers, get a chance to come out and be involved. So if you don't give us a call here at the Just Ask, on the credit roll, you will see the website so you can do your entries if you want to enter something. And hopefully we'll see you all there. So this is a wonderful time to get out and mingle and feel relaxed at a time that you're saying, normally I wouldn't be doing anything but trying to get some of my rest. Well, today we want you to get out, dust off your artwork, dust off whatever it is that you were working on, and enter that in the contest and see how well you do. And it's not so much that you're getting a cash prize or anything, it's the idea of being involved and networking and getting to hear other people's stories to see where you left off and where you can continue on with your loved one as a caregiver. So with that being said, I want to turn it back over to Monica now. Monica, you know, like I said, my heart goes out to this because I know about being a caregiver, and really you're just searching all over the place trying to find ways to have a break and, you know, keep your own sanity. And I applaud you and Hannan Center for putting this together so that, you know, we would have a wonderful day. And we're going to be there just as it's going to come.
Oh, good,
Okay,
good.
so, but let me ask you this. So with all that being said, and Hannan Center has done this before, will people get a chance to meet and talk to the director or the president himself, Vincent Tilford, about, you know, all the different programs? Will that be available during that date, or is this strictly just a caregiving event hosted?
Yeah, great question. It's not just an arts event or a celebration of caregiving, but it's a great time to come and network and find out resources, find out what's available in the community for caregivers, because caregiving can be isolating. So it's a good time to come and spend time with people who are in the same situation as you. But yeah, to also come to the Hannan Center and find out resources, come and talk to other caregivers, come and look at some of the coverage that the journalists have done. We've written about some financial remedies or relief, respite care. So yeah, it's a great time for the community as a whole.
Okay, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. And I'm sure, you know, people, once they see this show, they will be so grateful to know that there is journalists who's paying attention, okay?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people feel like, you know, nobody knows what I'm going through. Nobody has an idea, where do I turn, where do I look? So we encourage our viewers to definitely start to read more into the articles of caregiving and resources so that they can arm themselves better with what they need to, you know, to prepare for.
That's right. It's such an important issue. And even if you're not a caregiver, at some point you will need caregiving. So you're either on one side or the other. And it's such an important issue in not only in Michigan, but in the nation right now. There's a lot of talk from legislators right now in order to improve it. The sandwich generation, as we know it, baby boomers are getting older, our state is getting older, and people are dealing with this. We're actually in a crisis as there is a shortage of paid caregivers out there. Financially, this has strapped and even bankrupted families, the cost of taking care of a loved one. And the resources are out there, but they're not probably as robust or as developed as we've seen them in other countries and even certain states. So it's an issue that's pretty serious right now in our community, as we just don't have enough people to take care of our our aging population.
And you know what? Part of that is the aging population, but the other part is those who are suffering with dementia.
Yeah.
So we're having a early rise on the age of, you know, onset of dementia, and with that heading the pathway, people are like, my husband, my spouse, my mate, or whatever, is only 52.
Right.
You know, 55. So caregiving can start so early, so soon. It doesn't mean it has to be of an aging population, but of a person who is suffering with a ailment that's, you know, a condition rather, that's no turnaround. It's progressive over time. And, you know, and my thing too, Monica, is that, you know, the younger we educate people, the better we are. You
That's
know,
right.
I mean, don't wait because somebody said, well, your kids, your kids are going to end up taking care of you. So if you know, like I know, you give them some food for thought as they start to grow. You know, you don't have to wait till they get 25 and 30 to say, I need you to do this. No, I know you're 16, 17, 18 or whatever, but prepare your children to know that if something was to happen, or, you know, during the crisis of something happening, all hands on deck. And that's my favorite word, all hands on deck. From one child to 100, you got all these kids, everybody should be involved in the care of a loved one. and not just stress one person out and then everybody else act like they're visiting from out of town. You hear that all the time.
Yeah, we've done stories on the stressors of caregiving falling to one person. We see that in a lot of families. But you also have a growing number of solo agers and people who are aging alone. And so that's another population to think about, and another population that needs to prepare and is,
Right.
yeah.
And most people don't
for
know what a
caring.
solo ager is. So what's
Okay.
a solo ager?
So solo ager is a person who is aging alone, meaning they have no children or other adults to assist them as they get older. So what does that mean for you if you are a solo ager? You're 55, 60 up there, you don't have siblings, you don't have parents, and you don't have a child to take care of you. So that's a growing issue that we see in our communities and need to be prepared for as well.
And you know what? And it's not always about finances. It's,
Yeah.
You know, it's the relationships, it's the companionship, it's you know, someone to assist. It's not always about the dollar, ladies and gentlemen. People get that confused. Like, well, you know, I'm going to grow old alone. You're going to grow old alone, so to speak. But it's not your money that makes the difference. It's
Right.
the people around you that support you in your aging or your, you know, discomfort at the time. Because everything hasn't to do with aging. Some things have to do with disabilities, and some
That's
things
right.
are both. So either way it go, we need to learn how to provide a better care system for our loved ones as they go through these transitions.
That's right. And ourselves as well to make a
ourselves,
plan, because we're all getting older. We're not going to say this.
Okay, I'm gonna let you speak for yourself. No, it's okay. Yeah. Well, you know, I tell you what, Monica, I want to, you know, close out with some very good information, some resources that you provided for us, and so we're going to make sure that in the credit roll that we have that website.
Great.
And definitely some video clips of people, you know, hey, what does it mean to be a caregiver? Because some people need to see things.
Yeah.
You know, you can't just tell everybody something. You need to see it. So if you don't mind, we're going to close out with a video footage of you guys. And I thank you for coming to see us. And I hope that you'll come and see me again.
I will. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you. And thank the Hannan Center for putting on such a wonderful event. They couldn't do this one without you. Okay, so we're looking forward to attending Emerge.
All right. See you on August 24th.
I'll be there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know, I want to be able to close out with some video footage that Monica has provided for us. So I just want you to get an idea that don't think that caregiving is one-sided. Okay, caregiving is either you yourself taking care of someone or you need to be taken care of. So in the event, either way it goes, this is the kind of show that you want to get in contact with to find out more about resources. Give us a call, 1-800-323-5336, and definitely look in the credit roll for the website so that you can be a part of that wonderful event. I'm your host, Marsha Florence, and what do I always say? If you have a question about a person with a disability or just a general question, don't be afraid to ask, just ask. I'm your host. Thank you. Hey, yeah, girl.
Here at the Hannan Center in Detroit, a program called Daybreak offers older adults with dementia a chance to socialize and take part in activities that stimulate their minds. For family caregivers, Daybreak provides a much-needed short-term break to focus on their own needs and obligations.
Respite care for the caregiver as well as the person who's living with dementia is just absolutely vital. One of the reasons why it's so vital is that it often, the person who is taking care or supporting that other person are oftentimes sicker than the person that they're trying to help. Or they're neglecting their own health in the process, just because they're not able to do all the other things that they do. That's kind of why we call it Daybreak.